In this video, what I want to show you is how you can go from being a complete beginner to welding, have never touched a welder in your life, to being able to turn a MIG welder on and weld your first weld bead and getting it all set up in under 1 hour. And it's very possible to do that. So I want to show you what a MIG welder is in this video, how to set one up, and exactly what the MIG welding process is all about. But before I get into that, I just wanted to touch on a couple things that you can do with MIG welding. Now, if you're looking to fabricate motorcycles, hot rods, if you want to, you want to work on some awesome cars or something like that, or you want to make barbecue pits or trailers, MIG welding is the perfect choice to do that with. It's the easiest welding method for beginners to start out with, because it's really, you just kind of put it to the metal and you start welding. I mean, I simplified that a lot because there really is a lot more to it than just that. But if you want the easiest process to start out with, stick with a MIG welder. And the good thing about MIG welding is a lot of the units run off of a 110 volt outlet. So you can be welding your first welding project from your own garage, from your own home. You don't have to worry about having a big 220 volt outlet to plug your MIG welder into. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself first. My name is Garrett, and about 5 years ago I was a complete beginner to welding. I had no clue what a MIG welder was, what a TIG welder was, an arc welder. I'd never used an oxyacetylene torch. All these metalworking tools that I use now, I was a complete beginner to all of them. So what I did was, I got tired of I always watch those shows on TV where they teach you how to weld and all this stuff, or not where they teach you how to weld, but you see them building motorcycles, you see them building all these awesome cars and stuff. I wanted to learn how to actually weld something. So I taught myself how to weld. I read every book out there that teaches you anything closely related to welding. And I read the books and I practiced, and just reading the books didn't help much. What I learned from just practicing hours of laying down weld beads, just welding up all kind of random stuff. The things that I learned from doing that, they helped me a lot more than reading any kind of book or than any kind of book could teach me. So I researched and I read about all the different ways that you can weld, all the different joints, all the different welding positions that you can weld in. And I did all that stuff after I had actually started to try my first welding projects. I kind of did it in reverse, and I made the mistake of, I was trying to weld up welding projects when I had no clue how to weld. So if you want to learn how to weld, you're in the right spot. If you want to learn how to MIG weld, you're in the right spot. I'm going to show you how to lay down sound weld beads so that when you do get to your first welding project, you don't have a problem. You can do it just like that. You can weld up all the different joints just like that. So with that said, and with the understanding that you're in the right place to learn how to weld, to learn how to MIG weld, I want to go ahead and show you what a MIG welder looks like. Okay, now this is the gun of the MIG welder, and as you can see, there's wire sticking out of the MIG welder right now. And what this wire does, this wire comes on a roll. It comes on a big roll, and you put that roll inside of your welder. So several things happen when you press this MIG gun, or when you press this trigger on this MIG gun. You have the wire right here, and it starts flowing out, and it comes on a big roll, and it starts flowing out, and the gas starts to flow out of the nozzle, and an arc starts. So this wire is actually what you see when you look at a weld bead or two pieces of metal that are welded up, and you see that weld bead in there. That's the wire that's coming off of this. Just like on an arc welder, you would have one of those long sticks, also known as a stick welder. You see those people welding with them, and that rod that comes on those arc welders burns down, and that becomes the weld bead. So the thing about MIG welders and why they're so good for beginners is because, number one, there's no slag. You're not producing any slag like you would with stick welding or the flux core arc welding process. You have a bottle of gas that comes with the MIG welder that is used as a shielding gas, and I'll show you that in just a second. But that gas is used to shield the weld puddle from the atmospheric gases like nitrogen, oxygen, And if those gases come in contact with the weld puddle, it'll cause what's called porosity in the weld, and it's a bunch of pinholes in the weld that makes the weld weak. So one of the things that makes MIG welding so good for beginners is that since you don't have slag, you can see the weld puddle really good. You can just lay this down to your workpiece, start a weld, and you can be able to just watch your weld puddle flow into the metal. Whereas with a process that creates slag on top, you can't really see it as well. Not to mention that MIG welding is also just the easiest process, because you just basically stick it to the metal, pull the trigger, and you're welding. And like I said, it goes a lot deeper than that, because there's a lot of techniques you have to use when you're welding different joints. But now I want to show you, now that you have an overview of what the MIG welder is, I want to show you the machine, what it looks like on the inside, and I want to show you the gas cylinder that comes with the MIG, or it doesn't come with the MIG welder, but if you want to hook up gas and use it as a true MIG welder, you have to get a gas cylinder. Okay, so now what you're looking at is the inside of the welder. And on the inside of the welder, you've got the roll of wire right here, and this is a 10-pound roll of solid wire. You always use solid wire when you're welding with gas. And as you can see, the welding wire goes right into these drive rolls right here. And what these drive rolls do, I'll show you when I turn the machine on. And I pull the trigger, the drive rolls start to crank the wire out. And you can see the wires just float out. But and clip that wire off. Another thing you have over here is these polarity settings right here. So if you're using solid wire like this, the polarity has to be on a certain setting. Now if you switch this over and you decide not to use gas with this system, you have to use what's called flux core wire, and you have to switch the polarity settings out for those. Now if you don't get these polarity settings correct with the wire that you're using, you're going to end up, your weld is going to end up struggling to maintain an arc. So that's basically the inside of the welder. Now I'm going to show you the voltage and the wire speed on the front of the welder and show you what that's used for. Okay, so these are the settings on the front of the machine, and right here you've got the voltage setting. And what these mean are, if you're welding on thinner metals, you need to turn your voltage down, and the thicker metals, you go up, go up. So if I'm welding 1/8 inch steel with this, then I'm going to crank it all the way up to 4, and I'm going to put the wire speed on somewhere between 20 and 25. My machine has directions. Most wire feed machines have a chart on the inside of the machine that shows you where your settings need to be. This one says it needs to be on 4 and 30, but that's not always correct. So just use your settings as a general guideline, and you can't go wrong with that. With that said, now I want to show you the gas cylinder that hooks up to the machine. Okay, so this is the gas cylinder that hooks up to the machine, and the gas that I'm using on here is 7525. It's called C25 gas. So it's 75% argon with 25% carbon dioxide. And this shielding gas is used to shield the weld puddle and to help, if you don't have shielding gas, your heat is not going to get put on top of the weld where it needs to go. So the shielding gas actually helps transfer the heat of the weld. So I've got a regulator on here, and what this regulator shows, and I'll give you a close-up of that, is it shows the internal pressure of this tank, and what this one shows is the working pressure. So I'll show you a close-up of that. Okay, so you see the gauges right here, and right now it's sitting on 0. That's because I have this valve closed. So when I open the valve up, what you want to do is you always want to make sure you're standing on the other side of this valve. Anytime you open up a high pressure cylinder like this, stand on the opposite side, and it's just a safety precaution just in case something comes loose right here, that you'll be okay. This bottle's under 2,000 pounds per square inch pressure. So here's what's going to happen if I go ahead and turn on the bottle, and you turn it on slowly. Don't go cranking it open real fast. So I've got it turned on, and you always open up a high pressure cylinder all the way, and you usually set your setting for your gas flow to be around 20. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that up. And now when I turn my welder on and I press the trigger on the welding gun, what's going to happen is the gas is going to flow out of the nozzle on the welding on the gun of the MIG gun. I'm sorry. So that's basically it for that. And one more thing I forgot to show you is that there's a tube. There's a tube, this tube right here that comes out of the regulator, and it goes right in here to the back of the machine. So this tube goes into the machine and it travels all the way through, and then when you press the trigger, the gas is released. So that's basically a MIG setup. That's pretty much all there is to it. This happens to be a Hobart 140 MIG welder, and it hooks up to my 110 outlet. So I never had to worry about having a 220 volt outlet installed, although I do have an arc welder now. So if I want to get that, if I want to use that, I've got to have a bigger outlet put in, a 220 volt, just because an arc welder the size that I have, it pulls a lot more amperage. So with one of these Hobart welders like this, you really can't go wrong. They're pretty good. I've been welding with this one, and it's never overheated on me. It's got a cutoff where if you're welding for too long and you go past the duty cycle, that it'll automatically shut off so you don't damage the welder. So it's been a pretty good welder for me. All I would like to say is that if you're brand new to welding and you want to learn how to MIG weld, there's really no wrong way to go about it when you buy a MIG welder. You really can't go wrong, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You could buy an arc welder, but chances are you're going to have to put a bigger outlet in, and then you're going to have to worry about changing out the electrodes, the sticks, and they produce slag, so you're going to have to chip away the slag. I've got a chipping hammer down there, but it's welding with the MIG welder. When you're starting out, the MIG welders tend to produce really smooth weld beads, and when you buy a 10-pound roll of wire, it lasts for a long time. So all I wanted to show you was just how you can set your MIG welder up, and I've got another video prepared because we're not going to get to it in this video. But I want to show you how to lay your first weld bead down, and what you need to do, where your angle needs to be, your travel angle needs to be, and how you can make sure that your welds tie into the metal really smoothly. Because one of the problems a lot of people get is that they don't put enough heat into the weld, and they don't get very, very good penetration into the workpiece, especially if you're working on things that are going to have heavy loads put on them. So be checking your email, because tomorrow I'm going to send you a link to the weld bead mastery video, and we're going to talk all about how to lay your first weld bead. And that's going to be it for this video. And I just want to encourage you to go ahead and leave your comments below this video. Let me know what you think. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, or what do you want to learn? Is there anything more that you want to learn? So I'm always up for sending out new videos to my subscribers. So just go ahead and leave your comments below the video, and that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you in tomorrow's video, so just check your email.